So we are live now. Hi everyone, it's me again, Eli Gamo, or just call me Eli. And today on the Human Edge series, we have Nana, who is the CEO of GanaFert. And he's coming to talk to us about something that I believe we all share in common. So if you've ever been in a situation where you are applying for jobs and you're not getting results, you want to marry and you're not getting results, you have a lot of plans. 31st night, you sent a lot of prayers to God, and it looks like the postman is not delivering answers back to you. This is the right place for you to be, because Nana is going to help us to convert all those plans that we had into actions, and then from actions to results. So, as I already mentioned, Nana Kusi Appiah is the CEO of GanaFert. Nana, nice to have you on the call. Okay, Nana, you are muted.
Yeah, sorry, Ellie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to share this with your people. Yeah, my name is Nana Kusi Appiah. The CEO for GanaFert Ltd, and at GanaFert, we are into organic fertilizer production based in Asante Achimagogo in the Ashanti region of Ghana. So, Ellie, like you mentioned, we always have plans. Sorry, can you help me share the screen, or I'm supposed to share from my end?
Yeah, so you're supposed to share from your end, and I allow.
Okay, great. Just a minute.
So as Nana is trying to share his screen, if you have not subscribed to this channel and you want to hear more of this, one of the easiest ways we can get you is just tap on the subscribe button, or equally press the like button. That is if you really enjoy this, or you want the algorithm to share, the YouTube platform to share it with a lot of people.
Just a minute. It's processing to be. Yeah. So whilst we wait for the screen to be shared, like you mentioned, Ellie, some of us had plans to marry this year. I don't know if you also had plans to marry this year, just like you mentioned.
Not really. It wasn't part of
Oh,
my
okay.
plans.
Yeah, it was the plans of many, but also it wasn't part of my plans anyway. It wasn't part of my plans. Yeah.
But
So
who knows?
yeah.
We
Oh,
can
then
surprise people.
come again.
We can surprise people. So who
Oh,
knows?
definitely, definitely, definitely. You can surprise people, but not me. Yeah, so today we will be delving into something which is very relatable at our end. All the time we make plans, and then one thing that really happens and then makes our plans stall along the line is execution, right? So today we'll be learning about how to turn some of our plans into results. But then I want us to just think about this thoroughly. Just think about the last time you made a big plan, maybe just 2 to 3 seconds. Maybe it can be a goal, right? Like Ellie mentioned, yeah. When we are entering the new year, we always have plans. New year, new me. Cutting people. I think that's one of the only plan that really um happens, because when you are cutting people, it's quite easy to cut people, right? Yeah. So just have a deep look at some of the goals you gave yourself, maybe a resolution, or the business people, a direction you were looking at having your team to follow through. And then what just happened? We are currently in May, and then we are entering the June. We are entering June next. That's tomorrow. So just take a look back and focus on what's really happened. Did all those plans just stall away, or did they just get swallowed like nothing happened? And absolutely, it's true. Nothing actually happened, right? Yes. The only thing that really happened is you didn't just having the move to actually know how to round out with it. So that is what today is just about. So today we are not going to look at what the plan is actually about, right? We are going to look at what happens after you make the plan. What happens after you commit to saying you are going to start a gym in the next few weeks. You are going to drive your company from $100,000 company to maybe $1 million company. These are some of the actions we are going to look. So we all know how to make plans. This is something we are not going to talk about again. But then the real problem isn't the plan, but it's the gap in between we writing the plan and then actually getting it done. So today we will be delving into 4 simple ideas that's bridge the gap of getting things done. Before we delve into it, there's something I want us to focus on. That is the whirlwind and then the goal, right? So most of the time we have a plan. Let me give you a very relatable example. Some of us began the year to actually have 6 packs by June, but then that was the actual goal of it. And then there are a lot of things that come into place that stalls the goal from happening. Maybe Monday you decided to go to the gym, and on Monday, Monday is a very busy day, so you're like, let me just skip Monday. I'll go on Tuesday. Tuesday work becomes overwhelming, and then your boss calls and like, let me just skip Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday is good, and then we can actually kick on Wednesday. And then Wednesday, boom, you go. Thursday you come back. Wednesday you come back, you are tired, and then Thursday, let me just skip. And then Friday. So it becomes a habit. There is this saying which goes by, when you skip one, make sure you don't skip the second time. Because the moment you skip the second time, it actually becomes a hobby or a habit. That is where the whirlwind comes in. So there are 2 kinds of work in every person's life. The first one is what actually keeps things running, such as emails, meetings, daily tasks, and etc. and stuff that actually needs to be done, right? But the first type, which is the emails, the daily tasks, the activities, this crowds out the second goal every single time. So the whole win is something that really happens in our life every single day. It always blocks us from achieving the goal. Sometimes, I wouldn't even say sometimes, research shows that 65% of organizations have an agreed strategy, but only for 14% of their employees actually understand what the strategy really looks like. Let me ask us all this. If I am to stop someone in your company right now or yourself and then ask you, what is your single biggest priority in the company now? What is the single biggest priority in the company now? Would you be able to tell me, or it would just be another thing that we would have to discuss further? What is the single biggest priority in your company right now? You'll be surprised most of us wouldn't know what's the single biggest priority in the company now. Maybe it might be looking for revenue and other things, but then it might not just be the priority for that year. So you should always know that the whirlwind is the problem. Fine, we agree, but then the solution is something we should be focused on, right? We should be focused on being honest on what actually matters the most. Most problems we have as young people or as business owners is that we chase a lot of things at once, and we expect to catch all of them. We lack focus a lot. We don't focus on what is most wildly important, because we are always looking at what can be done and what can be done as early as possible. So we do combine a lot of things, juggling between one, juggling the next one and the next thing. Today you are here, the next day you are there. But then you forgot you actually had a main goal you are looking at achieving in this year. So you always have to focus on the wildly important. That is the first principle I would like us to discuss this evening. Because you can't chase everything without having a specific goal you are looking at having. And also, you can't have many goals, because the more goals you have, you are likely to achieve none of them. Radical focus is something which is very, very important in this. It helps you to focus on one thing, or just maybe two, and then protecting them at all costs. So you always have to identify one or two wildly important goals. Are you committing to starting the gym this week? You can start by doing some push-ups in the room. Are you committing to develop a new product in your line of work? you can start by putting things down or taking feedback from your customers. So you should be fixated on the goal and then make sure you are able to track every single thing that is being put in place. Let me go to the next slide. And also, the second priority I want us to actually focus on is the power of no. I want us to look at this case study from Apple. Apple, we all know Apple, right? The iPhones and whatever we have. In 1997, the company was nearly broke. They had a lot of things on their table. They were making cameras, printers, and then dozens of products, right? The company was all over the place. They weren't really focused on what is really important and what should drive the company's growth. But then they had a very good visionary leader who really understood what they want their company to achieve. So Steve Jobs came back and said, "Hey guys, let us just focus on one thing." He just drew a simple grid, focusing on this consumer and then professional and also desktop and portable, looking at how best they can, support their consumer needs. And when they did that, to your surprise, everything was cancelled. The cameras, the laptops, they were all cancelled. And then they just focused on one thing, that is building the iMac. In 1998, they were able to launch the iMac and they were back on track. And then later followed the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, and then many others. So the story of Apple is very relatable. A company that was going to bankruptcy in 1997 and then dislisted of 70% of their product line only to be able to come out being successful. So research shows that people who have done well are people who have very few of things to actually offer. Just like the person with many clothes. Sometimes when you have a lot of clothes, you struggle to find what you would wear at the end of the day. So when you have fewer clothes in your wardrobe, you are one of the few best dressed out there. So you always have to understand the power of no, how to prioritize what's really important, cut down some of the activities, right? We really want to achieve a lot of things in a very short time. We are not magicians. We have to learn how to cut some of these things out to be able to achieve what's the intended goal. So we should understand the power of no. The next one I want us to learn is we should try and measure what really matters, right? We have the lag measures and we have the lead measures. The lag measures are the things you achieved, tells you the things you achieved to actually reach the goal. That is the revenue, the profit. These are some things you can't influence. This has already, happened, right? But the lead measures are the predictive and the influenceable actions that you can change to actually focus or drive good results for the lag measures. Let me help you break it down. So when it comes to measuring what really matters, maybe you want to save 500 Ghana cedis every single month. The focus shouldn't be on saving the 500 Ghana cedis every month. What are you going to do to be able to save 500 Ghana cedis? Let's say you earn 2,500 cedis a month and then you want to save 1/5 of it. Previously, you spend everything. Well, but now you want to save 500 cedis. What are some of the things you are going to do? You can look at, cutting down your expenses. If you are used to picking boats, you have to start picking trotro. If you are used to buying food with a lot of protein, just like myself, you have to try and cut down some of these protein. So the lead measures are some of the things you should be focusing on and not the lag measures. Don't be looking at what has already been done. Be focused on what you are going to do to drive the growth. Let's say, you are looking at having your company grow from stage A to stage B. You are looking at raising some funding for your company. The goal shouldn't be focused on you raising maybe $10,000 for your company. The goal should be focused on what should be done to actually get there. Are your books good? Are you investor ready? Do you have a strong team? These are some of the lead measures that actually drags along to help you to be able to achieve the goal you intend to have. So you should learn how to measure what really matters and then distinguish between the lead measures and also the lag measures. You don't just wake up and do things just because it has to be done. A very good case study is the one of Domino's Pizza. I know most of you have heard of Domino's Pizza. So Domino's Pizza is a very big brand which really turned around in early years in the 90s. But then they did something which most pizza businesses would never do, to take feedback. Most food businesses in our country don't really take feedback, right? I don't know if you really pay attention to that, but most businesses don't really take feedback. Not because they are not even giving the feedback, but because they don't even make avenue for you to give feedback. They don't engage you to understand whether today's food was good or not. So myself, if I come and buy your food and it's not good, you won't be seeing me again, right? So one thing Domino's Pizza did that was really, really good was to actually engage their customers, to ask them, how does the pizza taste? Is it good? And then to their surprising, they realized that their pizza was very bad. And they didn't come out there to actually defend themselves or something like that. They admitted that their pizza was bad, did the whole PR on it, came on television, talk about it. They're like, hey guys, we've actually heard you, and then we are going to work on our pizza. And then that was how the 20 years of success, past 20 years of success of Domino's Pizza truly came by and skyrocketed, because they were really focused on listening to the people. When the crisis began somewhere around in 2009, they had this lead measure of how the transparency is going to be like. They weren't really focused on how they can make their pizza better. They were focused on the process of getting their pizza better. That is something that Domino's Pizza really worked on. And then when they received the feedback, they went on to execution. They didn't just take the feedback and then keep it to themselves, just like most companies do. Most companies would come to you for feedback. Hey guys, how can we work on this? How can we work on that? And then they just dump it somewhere else. You have to be able to listen to feedback. This is a real life case scenario which Domino's Pizza worked on, and then it really helped them to grow at the pace in which they are now. So, principle number 3, this is not very common, but I would urge each and everyone to do. For you to be able to be very efficient and then to be able to take your plans into action is to keep a compelling scoreboard. This scoreboard, when I say it should be visible to everyone, it must be simple and then easily accessible. Your scoreboard shouldn't be something which I have to take the laptop, type my password, go into files, look for Nana Kusi's document. No, 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 no. It should be easily accessible, right? So it can even be a sticky note you put on the wall every single day or every morning. It should be very clear, instant clarity. It shouldn't take me lots of thinking to be able to understand what you want to achieve with the scoreboard you have on over there. Because once you always have your scoreboard visible to everyone and then it's clear, it helps you to be able to for everybody to see them, and then also help you to identify what you're supposed to do and what should be done right. And then there should be changes in behavior. People actually play differently when there's a scoreboard over there. So immediately when you see that you have a sticky note maybe placed on your wall, and then it's visible to everybody, the sticky note says, I am slimming down my belly in the next, or I am slimming down my belly by June 2030, by June 2026. And then here's a scenario when you tuck in your shirt, we can still see your belly. It's visible to everybody. This really works when you are working in an individual environment, because when you're an individual, no one actually holds you accountable. But then if it's big over there in your house, your parents wake up and they see you saying you want to slip down your belly by June 2026, and then we are entering June, the belly is still there, right? It really becomes very difficult for you to not follow trend, because if someone is holding you accountable, it would really help you stay focused. So let's say as a business owner, I always talk about business because I'm into business, right? So as a business owner, if you have a target to actually reach 50 customers, every day, you don't need to make a spreadsheet or maybe wait till the end of the day before you start counting the people you see entering your shop. You can make just a scoreboard, or you can have a sticky head count or something like that. So immediately the person is entering into your shop, you have one customer buy, you just take one. Another customer comes, two. Another person comes, three. You are supposed to close by 5 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. You only have 30 people coming into your shop. Your target is 50. Looking at the time, 2 hours remaining, and then you have 20 people to go would actually push you to go out there and market your product very well. So you should have scoreboards, and then this shouldn't be something which should be very difficult to reach. It should be very easy to reach. It shouldn't be something which should take you years for you to access. Because if you have a scoreboard to reach 50 customers and then there is 30, you have 2 hours to go. It would even compel you to go out there and go and speak to other people to come and try your product, right? So always keep scoreboards. It's one of the things that has really helped me as a young person, and then I would encourage you to do the same as well. And then the next thing is accountability. This one really works for people who works in team. The best plans you might have, the best goals, the best scoreboards, none of these really matters if there isn't regular accountability. Accountability doesn't mean come and hold a person's neck for not doing things right, or not doing things the way which is supposed to be done. It has to be something very easy. It can be weekly, 20 minutes, where you meet as a team. This is for those in the business environment, where you meet as a team to really discuss what worked and what didn't work, right? This shouldn't even be something you should sit and then have a round table. No, you can meet as a team when everybody's having coffee. You stand upright and then discuss what really worked and what didn't work. So during the rhythm of accountability, the first thing you should look at is reviewing commitment. Just look back. What did we commit? Did we commit to growing the business? Did we commit to securing this deal? Did we commit to coming to work very early? And then you ask yourself, did I do that or I didn't? No shaming, just be honest, because accountability comes in when you put away shame. So there shouldn't be any shame. You had a plan to reach 100 customers with your graphic design works. You would ask yourself every week, maybe from 9 a.m. to 9:20 a.m., did I reach the 100 customers by the end of the week? What actually happened? Was it good? Did it work? And then you check your scoreboard. That is when the 100 customers come in place. Did our lead measure move, or is the score better or worse? Were you able to reach the 100 as mentioned? Were you able to hit the gym as you mentioned? Were you able to cut off the people as you mentioned, right? And then you come back to updating. So when you report the results on the scoreboard, you come back to updating the scoreboard. So let's say you weren't able to reach 100, but you did 80. You write over there 80, because that's what you did. You have to make sure you update it, whether good or bad. Even if it's zero, put there zero, but the target is 100, right? And then you commit to the next steps, because if you don't really commit, all this is zero, like it's now. So there should always be a commitment where you say, fine, I gave myself 100, but then I did 80. I could have done the 100 because the 100 is my capacity. I know this is something I can actually achieve and be able to take it to the next level. So this is what I'm going to do. So committing to the next step. If you want to make 100 new customers, what are some of the things you are going to do to reach the new 100 customers? Are you going to speak to people? Are you going to post more? Are you going to talk to your friends? Are you going to have referral programs? These are some of the commitments you are going to make. So this rhythm of accountability works every single week. It is not something you do once in a while. There's something you have to review and commit every single day. If you are an individual person, which most of the teamwork doesn't really apply to you, the scoreboard really works perfectly for you, and then you hold yourself accountable. You should be always be very honest to yourself, and then know some of the one or two things you do this week to impact the scoreboard to let it grow. Because you not deciding to grow would really harm you as a person. So you always have to have this level of accountability in there to help you go to the next level. Okay. So there is this quote from Thomas Edison that I really like a lot, because it says vision without execution is just hallucination. You have a vision to start a new company. You have a plan to actually quit your job and start something for yourself. You have a goal to um, build something for yourself, right? All this is good. Everybody is obliged to have the best vision you can just imagine, as big as you really have. But then one thing that really works is you taking a step to execute. You can be using your notes on your phone to reminders, to be sending you reminders to actually get it done. Because if you envision without you really putting in something to work, it becomes you just hallucinating, and then the year would go by without you achieving your dreams. I always tell people that don't let anything really limit you of your potentials, because you have the goal of doing something very big. So everyone has a vision, but execution is the problem. So it is where the things really happen, right? And then maybe even today you walked in with a goal, but somewhere in your mind, you really want to achieve it. I don't know what you set for the year, but then you really wanted to achieve it. But then these 4 points would really help you. It's not going to do the work for you, to be very honest, but then you have to sit down and this would guide you. You always have to focus on the widely important. These are my four main pointers. Focus on the widely important. What is really important for this week? Tomorrow is Monday. What is supposed to be done tomorrow to make the week a successful one? Who are you supposed to send an email to by 8 a.m.? Schedule the email this evening, right? Prepare your day, prepare your Monday before the Monday itself. Get ready for the week even before the week begins, right? Focus on the widely important. What are you going to do this week? Are you going to look for new customers? How are you going to get that done? Just focus on ignore the other things that comes the way. Make sure you really have a plan laid out, and then act on the lead measures. Don't wait till it's tomorrow before you act on. We like procrastinating a lot. It's normal as humans to procrastinate. But then one thing you can do for yourself is to be very disciplined. So act on the lead measures. You are looking at getting some customers for tomorrow. Sit down and plan now this evening, right? Um, which customers are you looking at? Are you looking at young people? Where will you be going to? What are the demographics of your customers? Are they young people? Are they women? Are they at the university? Get the plan laid out now, so that you wouldn't have to start that planning in the coming week. Keep a scoreboard. Like I always say, keep a scoreboard. You have a target to reach 100 customers at the University of Ghana. The plan is to start at the diaspora halls and then pent, because maybe they might have the resources to purchase your product you're selling. 100, you target 20, you target 60 at the diaspora halls and then 40 at pent. Keep that scoreboard over there. You can even have that scoreboard with you, because you'll be going out there to be selling to them. And then also create a rhythm of accountability. The rhythm of accountability is where you go back to your room and then ask yourself, did I really achieve my target for the week? Did I really achieve my targets I set out for the year? We are currently in May, and we are heading to the next month, which is June. That is the first half of the year is about to come to an end. It is never too late, right? We can always achieve what we set out to do, but then it all comes down to we focusing, acting, keeping the scoreboard, and also creating that rhythm of accountability. So this session won't be a long one, but I'm going to ask you these 3 questions. These are some questions I want to take you. I want you to take it to yourself and then just delve deeper into it to help you plan your new week. What is one goal that's, if it hits right now, it would make this year feel like a success? Just ask yourself, what is one goal? Are you looking at getting some money? Maybe the business owners are focusing on making revenue, right? What is your intended revenue? That if you are supposed to hit now, you will just go on a break and not work again until the end of the year. Just think about it. Are you tracking? The next one is, are you tracking the things you can control, or you are just watching the results, and hoping things work out for you? Maybe you've set out to achieve a revenue of 100,000 Ghana cedis by the end of the year. You are in June and things are not really working out. Are you tracking the things you can control, such as your engagement with people, going out there, speaking to people about your product, encouraging your team to build more, to be innovative, to be iterative? Are you looking at getting them done, or you are just hoping for a miracle or a magic to happen? I do believe in miracles, but before any miracle can happen, there should be an action that occurred. When Jesus fed the 5,000 people, there were two, is it, you can correct me if I get it wrong, right? Is it five fishes and 2 loaves of bread? There were 2 loaves and then 5 fishes, right? And then that actually brought about a miracle. So something has to be done before that miracle you are looking for, or that 100,000 Ghana cedis you are looking to achieve by the end of the year, should be out there. So are you tracking these things on how you can get them done, or you are just sitting out there hoping for things to work out for you? And the last one is, does everyone on the team know if you are winning or you are losing? Those with the team, just ask yourself this. Or even if you are an individual person, just ask yourself this: are you winning or you are losing? Because we are getting to the next half of the year, and then there are so many things you promise yourself you are going to achieve. Ask yourself, are you really losing or you are losing? These are the 3 questions I'm going to end with, and then take note of the 4 key measures, which helps you to plan to actually perform. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nana. So if anyone has any question, the person can just type it in the comment section. So as people are typing their questions, I would like to thank Nana once again for all this insights that he has given to us. Or maybe you don't want to type your question, you want to join us on the call. Just show up 2 fire emojis, then I know you want to join us on the call and I share a different link to you. So as other people are typing their question, so Nana, I have a question.
Sure.
So and this is usually from when I teach or when I guide. When I work with young developers, okay, they have a lot of things to learn and they just don't know where to start from and what to start from. How should they go about it? A breakdown to the question. So for the young developers, this is about what they should learn. But for the general public, it's about a lot of things. They need to get a job, they need to do a lot of things. There are a lot of things that someone in Ghana has to do in just a second. How do you decide on what they should do?
Yes. So I think as you mentioned, a lot of things, right? A lot of things is actually nothing. That is what I would say. Because like you mentioned, unfortunately, in our environment where we find ourselves, you would really have to juggle between many things to Try as much as possible to earn a living. But then my advice is focus on the wildly important. Maybe you want to learn how to code, you want to learn how to use ChatGPT, you want to learn how to do this. There are many things that you want to learn. Just list them down and then ask yourself, which ones would I be very proud of to have achieved by the end of the year? And then trust me, every single thing would come out. I always advise young people, list out 50 things you want to do. Just list out 50 things you want to do. 50. When you are done with the 50, take out 20, the ones which are not really necessary, but if it's done, you'll be very happy to get it done. Take out 20 and then channel it down to 30. Because if I'm to ask you what are 50 things you have to do, you have a lot early yourself, you have a lot you would want to achieve by the end of the year. Now you have 30, then I would ask you, which ones are the ones, the nice halves and then would love to halves. The nice to halves and the would love to halves. You would take out the nice to halves and then leave in would love to halves. So then you would have 10 remaining. And then I'll ask you once again, the top 10, which ones can you narrow down to select as your top 3? That is where the key decision comes in. It doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes time for you to really understand what you would really want to do. Let me give you a very relatable example. Let's say you are moving to a new apartment and then you have nothing. What's the one thing you need? Like 50 things. You need the air conditions, you need the bed, you need the televisions, you need the fridge, you need the microwave, you need the dishwashers and everything. Almost 50. But then if I ask you right now, Ellie, what is one thing you can't negotiate and then you need in the room? What is it going to be?
A laptop.
that is yours, right? Someone would say a mattress because if you have the room and there's no mattress, right? If you have a fridge and there's no mattress, it doesn't really sit well. So you focused on the wildly important. In everything you do, there is something which is very important. There's always a scale of preference. Just know what you really want to do and then start from there. The others can keep on adding up, just like Apple did. They focused on iMac and later iPod and then iPhone. And now they have AirTags, they have the Magic Mouse, they even have the new, so everything is important. I understand. But then focus on the wildly important, the one which has to be done now, the one which has to set as the basics to actually take you to the next level. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So if you have any question, just show 2 fire emojis, then I share the link with you so that you can join the call and then ask your question.
Ellie, let me ask you, what's one thing you really committed to achieving this year and then it hasn't been done?
Ah, hmm. It's not one thing. I'm more of a hydra-headed person. So it's actually not one thing, but they all contribute to one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my professional development.
Mm-hmm.
And when you break down the professional development, it's more segmented into different things. So currently there are about 5 pillars, 4 to 5 pillars in that unit. And I have grouped, so in my professional development, I will not be able to list them, but just for the general public. So key thing this year is my professional development. In my professional development, I have 5 pillars. So they are in there. These 5 things, they have now been grouped into 2. Unfortunately for me, one will not be able to be accomplished this year. And it's because of a delay of a system, which I don't have control over. So what do I have to do? Leave that, keep it pending. I don't have control over it. So I now shift attention to the other things whilst I
Yeah.
leave the other one as autopilot. So one thing for me as an individual is my professional development. And I think those around me will attest to this.
So what's the growth rate like in terms of percentage? Are you heading towards or
It's very slow. It's very slow. But I also understand that you know 100 out of 10,000 is a very small number.
okay.
Yeah, like it's a very small percentage. 100 out of
Yeah.
10,000 is a very small percentage. But when you look at it, 100, wow, that's a big number. But when you zoom out, personally, there are times that I zoom in into things. Oh yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Give myself a tap and then move out and like, oh God, this looks big. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
get you.
it's sometimes I applaud myself, you man, you force. Then sometimes I zoom in, I'm like, oh God, that big. Yeah. And I have a scoreboard. So those who have not and seen the first session yet, you can just go and then watch the first session. I shared an Excel sheet that I personally use to track my things. It's not a public thing, but there are times that I personally also do this in public. Go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn and then share. I want to do ABCD. Let me just share an example again. Um, Recently we had a virtual assistantship course, and as part of the course, we told them that one of the assignments you will now have to go and search for the thing or tell your people that hello everybody, I have just started a course with Tween Technologies. If you need any what. It's more like you are declaring to the people that I'm a virtual assistant. Give me a job, I'll do it for you. And that is a public scoreboard. So anytime someone sends you a system for you to automate and you can't do it, then that becomes a bad tag for you. So automatically you are just pushed to achieve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very true, so this really works for the individuals because like you mentioned, you place it on a public profile. So when someone sends it to you and you're not able to do it, that means you really are just putting yourself. And then so this is a good one. I would urge us all to really do that. But then I'm glad you actually started. You mentioned 100 out of a million. You are at 100. That's progress because someone is at one, right? Someone hasn't even started. So let's not be focused on the lag, but we should be focused on the lead, right? That's what I would advise. If you focus on the lag is the end goal. But then let's focus on the lead. Are you doing that something that would actually lead you to the end goal? That should be the main thing. So kudos on the 100, and then we are hoping the next time we catch up on a call like this, you'll be at a million.
Sure.
Yeah.
And another thing I also do is about the people I surround myself with. I have people who are always yearning for knowledge, people who always seek things that I equally seek. So, example, every year, Tween Technologies, the internal team, we have what we call scale up. And last year, we had to show up publicly. So, still on YouTube, we had 50 days of scale up. And what that means is that before April, you have to audit yourself. And okay, so I want to be in the media space. And then the media space, I use um, Premiere Pro for video editing. But now everybody is using um, Da Vinci. So I have to learn Da Vinci. You audit yourself, you audit your skill, you audit. So this is about still about professional development. Okay. You can do it in every area of your life. It could be finance, it could be any other aspect. So when we all meet, we all submit what we need. So I tell my team, okay, I'm currently in HPC. Unfortunately, I realize my Linux is not very good. So I will want to improve my Linux. Then and another person also says, okay, I also think Charlie, the AI thing I they do, I know they see top like that too. And funny enough, most often when a member of the team presents something, example, someone who is very good with embedded system now comes up to say, Charlie, the embedded system, then IoT, I know they see top. So I want to now add A, B, C, D. So this be what I will learn this year. Then as you are listening to the person, you'll be like, with all this thing you said you don't know anything about it. So that alone gingers you up. So in April, then we start, 1st of April, we start, everybody present. So already we all know what everybody will be learning. You have to learn and then show up. So in 15 minutes every day, you have to teach the team what you have learned. So you decide what you want to do. So most often I do 3 hours of learning for the scale up. So 3 hours, and then after everything, then I present to the team that I have learned A, B, C, D. And people who knows about what I learned, people who don't even know about what I learned, they just come up and then ask me questions. So you get a very wide range of questions. People who know about it already, they ask their questions. People who don't even know about it, they still ask their questions. So you have to explain the complex things to both sets, people who know and people who don't know. And this have been one of the things that have always helped the team. And I also noticed we also enjoy podcasts a lot. So the environment component is one of the things that have helped us to bridge just the planning thing. So when you look at the April scale up event, we plan even before April. We all plan. This is what we want to do. 1st April, we hit the road. So that's that. So it's more like an environmental thing, and everybody's showing up. So why won't you show up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's true. Just like I just went through the comment section. I'm seeing Daniel mention something about environment being important. It's very true because your environment influences you a lot. Yeah, I was watching this interview from um forgotten his name. The man considered to be the greatest investor of all time.
Warren
Forgotten his name.
Buffett.
Warren Buffett, yes. And then there was this thing he mentioned about your environment that if if you are a foolish person among 5 people, you are not really foolish. Mind my language. Sorry. You're
Yeah.
not really foolish, but you are wise. But then if you're a wise person among 5 stupid people, trust me, you are counted as one. So, like you mentioned, environment is very important because your team would urge you to grow and then make sure you are on track, and then accountability falls in place. Yeah, just like you mentioned, all there's those going up and there. Even if you have a team with people going to the gym and then you can see everybody showing up with results, so it would really urge you to go out there and be doing more. So yes, environment is very important. Thank you very much, Danielle, and then Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess no one has questions. So um Nana, your last words for the day.
So my last words, it's never too late to actually begin what you planned for this year. You had some resolutions written out. Start now, right? And it's better for you to start and feel and learn from it than actually to sit down and then not get anything done. Make sure you always focus on the wildly important. I always tell you, everything else doesn't matter. Focus on the wildly important. If you are working on many projects, it's good. You can work on them, but then focus on the one which is very important to the extent that you would have to stop every single thing and then attend to it. And later you come back to those things. Right. So focus on the wildly important, because if you're not focusing on something which is very important, you will lose track of doing so many things and you end up doing nothing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nana. So Nana gave us a lot of points today from um Number one, get the plan laid out in no order. So I'm speaking in no order. Get the plan laid out, execute the plan, keep a public scoreboard, and I also add that keep a private one as well, and then create a rhythm of accountability. Focus on few. Be accountable to yourself. Be accountable to other people. Get things working out even before the week begins. Act on them. Lead measures. And he also asks key questions that some of these are ask yourself or your team if you are winning or losing. Whilst Nana tailored his talk to a group of people, I always advise people to treat your life as a business. Okay, so see your life as either a business or a project that you are managing. So the same way, ask yourself, are you winning or you are losing? What is that one goal which will make the year done for you? And are you tracking things that you can actually control? Thank you everybody for joining today's session. And I believe we all know that one person or someone within our community who have to listen to this. Don't be selfish. Just share it with the person. See you later. Bye.
And then most importantly, subscribe. Most
Yeah,
importantly.
subscribe. Yes.
All right. Thank you for having me as well, Lee. Bye bye.
Bye.